What's up, people? What is up? It's your boy, Caramingo, and welcome to the first ever playoff preview as we take on the Sixers starting Sunday. Now, before we start, I want to applaud the Grizzlies and the Warriors. What a game! That was one of the best games I have ever watched. Grizzlies came out on top. They beat the Warriors, first road team to win the play-in tournament, and they're playing the Utah Jazz on Sunday. Warriors, I cannot believe he lost two elimination games in a row. Never thought I'd see this. Never. Best score in the league. Top 3 in MVP voting. Done. Huge upset right there. That was big, but congrats to the Grizzlies. Y'all going to playoffs. First time in like, 4 or 5 years. That was big time. But now, let's get to this Wizards playoff preview. First up, we're going to look back on the season. We're going to talk about the previous game we played against Philadelphia in regular season. Talk about the matchups. We're going to do fan bowl predictions and my bowl predictions. And later on, we're going to talk about the other playoff series that's coming on the playoffs. These are my predictions, but let's talk about how the Wizards got here. You already know, beginning of the year, made the John Wall trade for Russell Westbrook. Some people were not fans about it, because for me, I was personally shocked because I was ready for the turn of Wall, but instead, he got dealt to Houston for Russell Westbrook. But then, day later, once he had his press conference, I'm like, all right, let's roll with it. But then, the start, it did not go out well for us. You know, we started 0-5 Weber, and then we won like our 4th game in the season, 5th game of the season, until we hit COVID. We had a COVID outbreak. We missed about a week of not playing basketball, and then the struggles continue until February came. Made a nice run, and we went on a 5-game win streak, including like 3 out west. We finished the first half season strong, and then after All-Star break, we crumbled. We thinking like this is the end of the season. But to me, the save of the year was the Daniel Gafford trade. Like, he literally saved our season. At first, I didn't know who he was. I'm like, who is this kid? Like, who is this? But he came in, made immediate impact. He did get hurt a bit, and once he returned, that's when our run began. And think about this. We were 17-32. 17-32 on April 6th. And look at us now. We here now in the playoff. We went 18-7, something like that, and make the playoff to get the 8th and final seed, to get the Sixers in the first round. Huge turnaround. So to me, I think the turnaround was that road trip. I think we won at Utah was the turning point. We won there, and then it went on a 24-game home win streak. That really catapulted our season right there. And so that was our season, and we won a play game against Indiana last night to get in after losing to Boston to fail the 7th seed, but we are the 8th seed. So that's our season. Now let's get to these matchups here. Now Philly, they are number 1 seed, and we know this. We seen, you know what I'm saying? We see 1 seed, you know what I'm saying? Thinking like, oh, we got this. Like, this is AC, you know what I'm saying? But we seen AC to put a scare to number 1 seed. Like, I remember, weren't we AC last time in playoffs? I believe so. Against the Toronto Raptors, we lost the 6 games where media thought we were going to get swept, and we took them to 6 games. You never know. Like I always say, you can never count AC, because this team right here, this is not your original 8 seed. Like, oh, this is simple. Like, oh, we got this. But you cannot overlook your opponent. So that's how I warn you about. Let's get to these matchups here. The starting 5 here, advantage is Philadelphia. Their 5 is good. You got Curry, Green, Simmons, Harris, and Embiid. You know, those are like the three shooters. Harris, Green, and Curry. Go around Simmons and the big man dominating the paint. That's a real cut right there. Because look at our starting lineup. Our starting lineup is no comparison to theirs. With Russ, Neto, Beal, Hachimura, and Len. Now, to me, I personally think Russ should be on Ben Simmons to start. I think that should be the matchup. I cannot see Beal and Neto being on Simmons, but we can see Rui on Ben Simmons. But I think, but you know what I'm saying. But Len and Embiid, that's a mismatch. Like Embiid will just bully Alex Len. But the key matchup on Embiid is our weapon, Daniel Gafford. I think he will get make him be a run for his money. Cause you saw what he did to Zion at one beating where he shut him down playing him 1-on-1. But young fella Gafford is gonna be a huge challenge. But the key, I think the key to this series, one of the keys is the bench. Which bench is gonna do well? Cause look at our bench. We got Gafford, you got Ish, Lopez, Hutchison. You never know, because he's some Garrison Matthews in this series, but you never know. But Philly's bench, you got Milton, you got Court Mize, Mike Scott, the former Wizard, and of course Superman, Dwight Howard. And don't sleep on George Hill, because I see him in playoff game where he has some nice games. So you cannot sleep on that guy, because we've seen this many times. Him in San Antonio, him in Indiana, Milwaukee a couple years ago. Wherever he goes, he'll find a way. So you cannot sleep on him. So it's gonna be interesting to see how these matchups will work in this series. Now I did make some I made 8 keys to for Wiz to compete in this series. So here they are. Number 1, limit the turnovers. You cannot make mistakes against Philadelphia, especially with Doc Rivers as a coach. Make mistakes, they will make you pay instantly. Number 2, defend the 3. I think the last time we played them the second time, Steph Curry went crazy and all that. So you got to defend the 3. They got shooters and Curry, Green, Tobias, Court Mize, Milton. They all of them can shoot, and Mike Scott. So you got to defend the 3. Number 3, get Embiid out the game. And get him in early foul trouble. You get him out of the game, we have an advantage. And force him to be a jump shooter. You know he likes to live in the paint, but force him to shoot jump shots. Number 4, also force Ben Simmons to shoot. Because you know Simmons, you know what I'm saying, team like to get back and say, make him shoot a 3 or mid-range jump shot, which he can't do, but he has a floater game. But if you force him to shoot and then force him to get the ball, we have a shot. Number 5, Beal and Westbrook must come up big every night. Like, if you have Beal and Westbrook on your team, you have a chance to win. And for Beal, this is your time, man. This is your time. We know you took a backseat with Wall in the past, but since you had Westbrook, this is your time to shine, be a superstar. Time for you to be a force to be reckoned with. And Westbrook, we know you've been criticizing the past in playoffs for not getting on the first round, whatever, and not come up big since KD left. But I believe in Russ. Forget about that slander that the media been slamming you in. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Number 6, the free throws. You got to get the free throw line. We were number 1 in the league in makes and attempts. If you get the free throw line against Philadelphia, we have a shot. Number 7, the bench. Bench must play big. Bertans, Gafford, Ish, Robin Lopez. You got to come up and contribute off the bench if you want to have a shot at winning the series. And number 8, win the boards. Both teams are top 10 in rebounding. Wizards were number 8 in rebounding. Sixers number 10. So if we win the rebound battle, if you keep it close rebounding, then we have a chance. Like the great Paradise says, no rebounds, no rings. So it's gonna be interesting to see because Philly they did beat us 3 times in the regular season. First meeting we played on, it was the first game of the year, I believe. I think we were up like 10 points in the second half, and then Embiid took over in the fourth quarter, and we lost by like what 5 points, something like that. Second game, Bill, classic performance, scored 60. I think we were down like what 20 points, and Bill just do it and say, "I'll just do whatever," and he almost brought us back. Put up 60, tying Gilbert Arenas' all-time record from Wizards history. And the third meeting, we just got dominated. And B just crushed it before he got hurt. But it's too much there. But this is the playoffs, so we have to wait and see. We will wait and see. Now we're going to take a little break. We're going to get to the fans' thoughts and predictions on this series. So stay tuned.
Hands of Gafford. Smith. Oh, for Gafford. Beautifully done. And a timeout.
All right, and we're back, y'all. And now it's time for the fans' thoughts and predictions on the Wiz Sixers series. Now, I got a few of them, but let's read some. My man Be Easy 191 983 says, "It will be a challenge, but I will say Wiz in 7." Now, it could go 7. You never know. We seen 8 seeds push the 1 seed 7 games. Like I remember the 08 Hawks did it. The Celtics pushing game 7, and did the same thing. Couple years later, and back in 2014, they pushed the Pacers 7 games. They almost won. And I think they're up 3-2, but couldn't do it. But it can be done. So hopefully, if it goes 7 games, because anything can happen in game 7. And to be honest, if it goes 7, we got Russell because Russ knows what it takes to win in a game 7. But it'll be tough because Philly, they've been in game 7 before. Remember last time they played game 7? Remember last time Kawhi Leonard happened where he did the bounce and went in. So, but this time they'll be at the home crowd at the time. But it will be a challenge though, so we'll see. All right, at DCS Next 44 says, "This is good. I think we can win. If we still won in their home, it'll be important to have a third step up and contribute at a minimum 15 points. In addition to that, 4th player will be ideal." And that's pretty good because the key game for this effort as an AC is that first game. That is the key game for us to start this. Because you want to win a road game to set the tone in series. But who will be that third guy? Will it be Rui? Will it be Gafford? Will it be Ish Smith? Or Howard Neto? You never know. We got some guys who have contributed to be the third best scorer on the team. Or Garrison Matthews. And the 4th player, it's always on random. But that's pretty good because, like I said, first game is the key. Is the key right there. That's the key right there. So, and some said, good friend Amore _ Tiffany said Wizards in 5. I'm like, that will be impressive. If the Wiz beat the Hawks in 5 games, that will be one of the biggest upsets in NBA history. Like, we never seen a team in the best of 7 beat a team in 5. I seen a team beat 1 in 6, but never in my years watching basketball seen an 8 seed beat a 1 seed in 5. So that will be something right there. Be very, very something. And one said at Blue 123 said Wizards in 4. I don't know about that. I don't know about Wizards in 4, man. That is real bold right there. But we will see because get this. Didn't Toronto years ago beat us all 3 times in the regular season, swept us in the regular season, and then playoffs we swept them back. So you never know. You never know. And Sunset and at your Poppy Ray said worst case scenario, Wiz beats in 5. Best / lucky case scenario, Wiz in 7. I can agree because the media is saying that they're gonna beat us in 5 games, including that man Stephen A. Smith who been hating on my man Russell Westbrook. Cause they be saying Wiz gonna go out in 5. Some say it's gonna be a sweep. Even the fans say it's gonna be a 5 or 4 game series. But I think, to me, I'll get to the moment. It could go 6 or 7, in my opinion. Because when you have Russ or Bradley Beal, you have a chance to win the game. And my man my man Brandon said this. Add 3 Zutres. I can't pronounce it. Logic, Wiz in 6. By heart, Wiz in 6. That's fair enough, because I cannot see us going out real easy, because we've been a tough outing since we went in hot streak, so we shall see. So there's a lot, but I can't do not do everybody. But we're gonna take another quick break. We're gonna talk about the other series in my predictions. So stay tuned for that.
Half minute left, first half. Here's Len on the drive and put home by Westbrook.
Back again, and now is this time. One of my favorite parts: predictions. 8 series, first round. Let's get to it. Let's start with the Eastern Conference. Sixers, Wizards. After we discussed about my predictions, fanboy predictions, after all we discussed, it's gonna take long. I got, you already know, got my Wizards upsetting the Sixers in 6. We're gonna beat them and say we're gonna celebrate at home. Game 6. I think it's on a Friday, I believe. I think we will beat them in our house in 6 games. Next up, Nets, Celtics. I'm going with Brooklyn. You got Harden back, Kyrie, Kevin Durant, and losing Jaylen Brown for Boston hurt. If he was healthy, I would have given him at least 2 games or maybe 3. But since Tatum's by himself, I can see the Nets beating the. I was gonna say sweep, but I think the Nets will beat them in 5 games. Heat and Bucks. Rematch of last year's playoff in the bubble where the Heat beat them easily in 5 games, but Milwaukee's on a mission. I'm going with Milwaukee because we seen in past where Milwaukee lost someone and the next year they get him back like they did in 2018, lost to Boston 7 games, and the next year beat them in 5. So I believe, in my opinion, I think people think it's gonna be a long series, but to me, I think the Bucks will beat the Heat in 5 games. The Knicks and the Hawks. This is gonna be a great series to watch. It was a hard decision, but since Stephen A. has been hating on Russell Westbrook over the past couple weeks, I'm taking the Atlanta Hawks. I'm going with Atlanta here. Come see how Stephen feel after celebrating like we're back. You gonna celebrate New York going to playoffs, but want to slander Russell Westbrook for making the playoffs? To see how you feel of your Knicks losing in the first round. Now, anyway, this series should be very interesting to watch because both teams play real different. Hawks like to run, Knicks like to slow things down. They go big in size, so we'll see how that plays out. But to me, I think the Atlanta Hawks are going to beat the Knicks in 7. I think this series has a good chance of going to Game 7. And now we move on to the West. The Jazz and the Grizzlies. You just saw Grizzlies. They beat the Warriors to get in playoffs in AC, but they're going against the best team in the NBA, the Utah Jazz. And Mitchell, he's coming back. Much I love the Grizzlies this year, whether they're fighting all season long, I'll give them 1 game. I think the Jazz will beat them in 5 games. Now, this is a series I want to talk about. Suns, Lakers. Now I've been hearing all the time Lakers like they got LeBron, they're going to championship. It's easy and simple, but they are 7 seed. Like we never seen a seed this low possibly go far. To me, I think they're ready down in Phoenix. To me, because they've been like the Suns, they're too young, they're too inexperienced, and they blah 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 blah. To me, inexperience in the playoffs to me is overrated. Cause once you're a high seed, I don't care if you're 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, you're still in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? But Chris Paul, once you have Chris Paul, you have a shot. I don't care if Booker or Aiden, those guys, never takes the playoffs before and going against the team with the Lakers as the fan champions. Only got Chris Paul and your home court advantage, you should win. And before I make a decision, Chris Paul, he has beaten a defending champ before. Remember the Spurs 2015? It was 2015. Beat them in a classic game 7. So he's capable of knocking out the team who had previously won a championship the year before. So after all said that, I believe the Phoenix Suns are gonna beat the Lakers in 7. I was gonna say 6, but I think has a good chance of going 7. But here's another good one: Nuggets Blazers. Whew. If Jamal Murray was playing, I was gonna say 5 games, but Denver has been hot since Murray went down. Anything what like 15 games, 13 since he went down, something like that, and lost like 5 or 6. But going against Dame Dollar in Portland, remember Portland did it beat before 2 years ago, beat him in 7. I think Denver will get revenge. I believe the Nuggets will beat them. I think this series might go 7. I'll get it. I'm gonna say that it's gonna go 7 games. If Murray's playing, I will say 5. But give that team credit. You got Michael Porter Jr. Hopefully he shows up. If he shows up, you never know. It could be short series because he's been playing like a superstar since Murray got hurt. But in my opinion, I think it's gonna go 7 games. And finally, Mavs and Clippers. Another rematch of last year's playoffs. We got a lot of rematch here in the playoffs. A lot of rematches. Clippers and Mavs should be a good series. Went 6 last year, but I think with additional Rajon Rondo on the Clippers and adding Marcus Cousins, and I think like I said, Luka, my favorite player to watch other than the Wizards, my favorite player in the NBA. Much I respect for Luka. I think they're gonna miss Porzingis. If he's not healthy, Mavs don't have a shot. So to me, I think with Luka, you have a chance. And don't diss on Rick Carlisle. He's probably the most underrated coach in the NBA to me. You cannot question him. Don't look at the roster. Just look at the coach because he prepares his team any situation. Like last year, people don't count them out. They're gonna go out easily. But to me, much respect for Luka and the Mavs. I think the Clippers will beat the Mavs in 6, like last year. So those are my predictions. I was gonna say I think we're not gonna see a sweep, but most likely sweep is that Nets in the Celtics series. But I said 5, but that's a series most likely it could be a sweep. So those are my predictions. When we come back, I'm gonna wrap it up and give my keys and thoughts on coming into Game 1 on Sunday. Stay tuned.
To the front court for Indiana. Oh, McDermott wanted to put it down and was denied emphatically.
Okay, and we're back again. Now, remember, Game 1, Sunday. Let's go over the schedule. We can play Game 1 Sunday, Game 2's Wednesday, Game 3 in our house next Saturday. Then after every other day, Game 4 that next Monday, Memorial Day holiday. Then Game 5 that Wednesday, the Game 6 that Friday. If it goes 7, then it'll be I think the first Sunday of June, something like that. So we'll have to wait and see what happens, how far it goes. But Game 1, I heard Rui Hachimura saying, Game 1, we're gonna make a statement. I'm like, All right, now that's I call that confidence from a young player who's gonna make his playoff debut this on Sunday. Name me like I believe we have like 4 or 5 guys who normally play and make their first playoff appearance. We got Ruri, Alex Len making for Alex Len, Gafford. I believe dang, there's so many. Garrison Matthews, Chandler Hutchinson. So basically, that's 5 guys right there who normally play will will taste the postseason. So it'll be interesting to see because I remember back in 2014 when Wall and Bill made their first playoff appearance. Everybody called us like they're too young, they're too inexperienced. It's like same our team because we got like five guys who made the playoffs, but that 2014 team they forgot about Ariza, Nene, Gortai, Drew Gooden. They forgot about those guys. So, but from this team, you got Russ and Brad because they've been there and done that. So it'll be interesting to see. So, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait if we beat Philadelphia. I wonder how Stephen A. is gonna feel about this. He probably gonna say, "Oh, it's nothing." That well, to me, it's something. Cause I think we're trying to become the 6, 8 seed to knock off a number one. If that happens, Stephen A. probably will say, "Oh, blah, 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 blah." But I guarantee you, on Monday, you're gonna say nothing about Steph Curry missing playoffs, but you're gonna say something about Russ making it. I'm like, that man is, he's being, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what to say, but I hope his Knicks lose. And who knows? We might face the Knicks in the second round. If we win, we could face the Knicks. And Stephen A. Smith, if you're listening, where's the Knicks? You better pray the Knicks beat the Hawks. Hope y'all lose, but we face New York. Watch out. So get ready, Wizards fans. This show, we talk about basketball. First time ever on this show. Can't wait for Sunday afternoon. Now for the playoffs, after every show, post game show I we do, talk about the game, and we're gonna recap the other game that was played before us. That's how the show playoff is gonna work. We're gonna recap the game first, and recap the others. So, looking forward to covering the playoffs for you guys. Thank y'all for watching. Y'all know the deal. Follow me on Twitter at Camingo. Same Instagram. Uh, and on Instagram, my Wiz page at Wiz_Nation on Twitter. Instagram, Nation_Wiz. Thank y'all, Wiz fans, for watching. Good night. Peace.